All right, good morning and welcome back to science class. In the last class, we talked about 5 scientific methods. Today, we're going to talk more about the 5 scientific methods, and the topic of today is the scientific process. The scientific process, as you can see on the screen. At the end of this lesson, students will be able to describe and apply the scientific method in searching for knowledge. Describe and apply the various science process skills in searching for knowledge. And before we continue, let's take a look at the vocabularies. The first one is relationship. I'll take that again. Relationship. Define. I'll take that again. Define. Controlling. Controlling. And the last one, modeling. Modeling. Now, let's take a look at this. We can see the picture of the sun rising, and sunset. We studied the rising and the setting of the sun. Then we made a model of it as shown on the poster on the board. This is a scientific process. How do we use the science process skills in everyday life? The scientific method is a way of science for scientists to study and learn things. Scientists use this method to find answers to what they want to know. There are 5 steps to the scientific method. What is the first step in searching for scientific knowledge? As we have learned in the first class, so let's try this activity. Draw lines to match the statement to the correct steps of the scientific method. So the first one, a fire ant is an insect. Its body is red. What kind of statement is this? It is a conclusion. Here they are drawing a conclusion that a fire ant is an insect and its body is red. Number 2, is a fire ant an arachide or an insect? Again, is a fire ant an arachnid or an insect? So what is it in the scientific method? It is asking a question. That is the first step, asking a question. Now let's take a look at number 3. The body of a fire ant is divided into 3 sections. It has 6 legs and no wings. It lives on trees and on the ground. And this kind of information is to study the information, to gather and study the information of fire ants. Number 4, using the ant length, we find that a fire ant is red and its body has 3 sections: the head, thorax, and abdomen. It has 6 legs and no wings. This is gathering information. Gathering information. And number 5 is making a hypothesis. That is, a fire ant should be an insect and it should be red. That is an hypothesis. So let's go on to the next one. What are the 5 steps in scientific method? Number 1, ask a question. If you want to know about certain things or you observe something in your surrounding, in your house, in your environment, you need to ask questions about it. Observe and ask questions. Number 2, we make a hypothesis. Okay, let's continue. Number 2, we make a hypothesis. Adding this red liquid into the blue one might change it to purple. Is it possible or not? That is making a hypothesis. In this step, we get answers to our questions. So number 3 is gathering information. Gather information. In this step, we find answers to our questions. We observe, explore, and do experiments. This is a process whereby we write down the data that we get. When we gather the information, we note all the data. And number 4, study the data that we gathered. We explain the results we get. This will help us to draw a conclusion. Number 5, drawing a conclusion. In this step, we make a summary of our results. We check if they match our hypothesis. This knowledge is used in our everyday life and for our future studies. So this is all I have for today. The 5 scientific methods in a scientific process. Number 1, ask a question. Number 2, make a hypothesis. Number 3, gather information. And number 4, study the information. And number 5, draw a conclusion. That's all we have for today. And I'll see you again in the next class. Goodbye.